Okay. Hi, everybody. I think we have one or two more people coming in from in the waiting room. We'll get started. Uh, I'm so happy that you're all here with us tonight. My name is Thea Lavin, and I am the executive director of Supporting Hope. We're the US 501c3 registered nonprofit that is dedicated to supporting House of Hope Vision School. Tonight, we'll be hearing directly from House of Hope's co-founders, Milad Voskarician, co-founder and director of Peace and Justice Education. Let's let some more folks in. And Manar Wahab, the director of trauma-informed education at House of Hope Vision School and Kindergarten. They'll be speaking to us about how to keep hope during times of uncertainty, and also giving us an update on how things are going at the school in the West Bank and with our peace and justice and trauma-informed education programs. Again, welcome, and I'm so happy that you're here with us. Before we turn our focus to Milad and Manar, I'm just going to give a quick overview of what House of Hope is and what we do there, just in case there are some newcomers to our group tonight. So I'm just going to share this screen, just one moment. All right. All right. Great. All right. So House of Hope Vision School and Kindergarten, I've actually visited it over the last decade, I think 9 times, 4 of which since October 7th. So I've really been able to see their incredible work up close during peaceful, easy times, during hard times like what they're going through now. So who we are, who is House of Hope? House of Hope is a Palestinian peace school, most simply put. It was founded 16 years ago by Palestinian peace workers who still lead the school today. They are registered by the Palestinian Authority, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior. They provide trauma-informed kindergarten and elementary education for Palestinian Christian and Muslim children living under military occupation. House of Hope is located in the West Bank. That means they don't have Israeli citizenship, but they live under complete Israeli military control. Their lives are almost entirely ruled by a government that they can't vote for. So where is House of Hope? Where the red dot is. If you've been to Jerusalem, it's just a very short drive past Jerusalem, right past East Jerusalem in the village of Al Izariya. So that's where we are. What does House of Hope do? House of Hope delivers an education that heals. Their healing, holistic kindergarten and elementary classrooms deliver trauma-informed education for children growing up under persistent toxic stress and trauma. They also teach nonviolence in their peace and justice education program. House of Hope students take a pledge of nonviolence every morning at the start of their day. That pledge is posted on our website at houseofhope.vision. Their students also receive opportunities to learn through art and music that they would not receive attending a public school. This includes weekly painting sessions, small therapeutic drumming groups, a student choir, and guitar and song in the classroom. We'll hear more shortly about how they deliver this type of education. In addition to reaching children in their classrooms, House of Hope has a bigger impact. It has a regional impact by the teacher trainings, trauma-informed teacher training programs that it hosts, and the curriculums that they publish. They just published 2 curriculums on peace and justice education this year, which we're excited to share with you shortly. That reaches Palestinian teachers across the West Bank. What is their impact? House of Hope Vision School, since its founding 16 years ago, has reached almost 16,000 children. It has trained almost 200 teachers, and their students have taken their pledge of nonviolence 91,000 times. In recent research that Manar Wahab presented which we'll talk about shortly, 50% of House of Hope kindergarten parents said that a House of Hope education profoundly reduced their child's toxic stress and trauma symptoms within 1 year. And lastly, is thanks to you. House of Hope is a private school operating in an area with high poverty. All of our students are on scholarships. This school is nurtured and supported by all of us. So it's all thanks to you. Here we have some photos of some recent improvements just this last month that were put in at our school thanks to donor support. New floors, water tanks, uniforms. A few years ago, we put in a playground, an art school. So the role of all of us, the beloved community, in doing this work is essential. So that's what House of Hope is. And I'm now going to welcome Milad and Manar to our talk tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and just unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to start our conversation about how to keep hope during times of uncertainty, I thought maybe you guys would just talk to us a little bit about what it's like in the West Bank right now. We know that from the news that we see that it's constant uncertainty. What's it like to live in the West Bank, and what's it like for your students?
Yeah, life has changed a lot after October 7. It's much more about fear and anxiety, uncertainty about our future, the kids' future and safety, emotional trauma got increased in our life, especially with the kids and families. Psychological distress and anxiety, it appears a lot in our life, especially with the security concerns that we face all the time, settlers attack and stuff like that. And we want to just also focus on the economic restriction that now we have a high percentage of unemployment in our life in the Palestinian side that affects parents of the students. But thank God that with the donors support, our beloved community, that we can keep House of Hope Vision School and Kindergarten as a safe, healing place, and place where peace and justice is the principle of our life.
Like, I would go maybe deeper in what I would say, like, what we define living. What is living? Living is to have safety. Living is to have freedom. Living is to have to enjoy the environment around you. We don't have freedom. We don't have safety. We don't enjoy reality, which is really, as Milad said, much more harsh after 7th of October, really, from like soldier and settlers and movement, and feeling so depressed with what's happening in Gaza. It affects a lot, other than economically also. And it affects, like, before a couple of days at school, one kid, just maybe 2 days ago, I have class with the kids. I think it was 2nd grade maybe. And he came and showed me a picture drawing that he drew. I sent it to you, Thea, maybe. I don't know if you can show them. and it was the Al-Aqsa Mosque and a wall. And in the other side, it was like, I think, a tank or something with Palestinian flag. So this is like what we live, like kids at once they go in the school, kindergarten, their own flags, Palestine, tanks. Yesterday also before, I think it was yesterday, Narine was outside in our house here and they were shooting. She was drawing some nice stuff. And at once she heard some shooting. Yeah, and it was this, she was drawing, for her, it's a cotton candy, for cotton candy, like cat and lion. And when she heard the sounds of the bombs, she started doing a panic reaction. She at once scratched the drawing and she was kicking the ground. She threw the drawing and she held me with my shirt. I had like 5 minutes to sit and look at her. She was like really, her eyes was like staring. I don't know, it wasn't the first time that Marine faced like this thing, but yesterday was so much. And this is, of course, I think for lots of Palestinian kids that face. So like, and etc., etc., etc. Lots of examples, lots of life examples here of how we are traumatized, even us. I would say like also we are traumatized and as living, feeling we're closed and can't breathe well.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing what it's feeling like today and for also sharing the drawing that Nona made yesterday when there was soldier activity nearby. Thank you for telling us what it's feeling like. So, despite all of these hardships that you experience living in the West Bank under occupation, for almost far into your second decade, have been showing up every day at work, getting out of bed and working with these kids. Why? And I've seen it with my own eyes. I spent 4 10-day trips since October 7th at House of Hope. So I've seen it. Why did you choose this kind of work? Like, why did you dedicate your life to trauma-informed peace education for your community?
Yeah, that's every day we have the same question, but why we still have the strengths and the hope from where we get love and healing to continue. Because we believe in creating resilience community, especially for individuals and for our school. We believe empowerment through also knowledge and education, and that can help also our kids to have a tool of dialogue and critical thinking and understanding and empathy and compassion. We also believe in transforming mindness, like promoting tolerance and empathy. So these all tools help us to continue to believe in our community. It is the only alternative way to build better community in spite of what we are facing of trauma, hardship, oppression in a way, the war in Gaza and how it affected our life, everything that we are dreaming. I mean, it took the good image of life, but in spite of all this pain and the tears of kids, me and Manar, on each day that we hear the birds and we see the sky, we still believe that humanity deserves a chance of love and forgiveness and building peace and justice.
For me, I'm a person that lived in Bethlehem and I lived two intifadas. The first one in 1978, no, just 87. I forgot I was saying in English. And the second one in the 2000. And I think I got lots of trauma under my skin. And at that time, I was at school, and I had conventional schooling. I had lots of panic and trauma, and I was going just to school again and again and have to memorize and do tests. And there was no like much light on what emotional, psychological problems I had. And even my parents, they tried their best. They were like just simple Christian Catholic parents that they did what they can. And in the end, like they took me to a doctor and they got pills and like psychological doctor. Like and in the school, the teachers, they didn't have the skills to deal with kids that have trauma and panic and all this stuff. I remember myself doing in the tests like have tears and my paper with tears going to the teacher without any answers sometimes. And it was really hard. It was really hard. I was good at school. I got some good marks in the end, but I had lots of broken character in my like 8th and um, 9th grade. I was like broken as a character. I was having so much fear. I panic at night. I can't sleep at night. I have fear. I go up. I feel like I'm going around the house, feeling like I want to die, and choking and all this stuff. By the way, like I live in a place called near Rachel Storm, where lots of issues and like clashes happen between Palestinians and Israelis, and I saw lots of like killing, tanks, and lots of other activities in this area. It was like really hard, and it was breaking. And so out of this, as I didn't find those teachers and parents, especially teachers at school, and a method that is more holistic, not just concentrating on my mental and my how much marks I get, my grade and my stuff. So I thought, and also I was like a spiritual speaker a seeker in a way. So I wanted to find something that is more universal, as I felt I'm a universal human being, something bigger, to change, to find something to change and to bring more holistic education, holistic ideas and therapy for myself and then the community. At that time, of course, I didn't plan to be educator or plan to be anything. I just was a seeker to heal myself and to find something to help other kids. And it ended up bringing a new education that is more trauma informed. And it was the Waldorf through anthroposophy, through, of course, being in non-violence workshops and study, and then to anthroposophy, and through anthroposophy do Waldorf education as a trauma informed education.
Thank you. It's really inspiring to hear. And Milad, we're going to talk in a moment more about your peace and justice education and the new curriculum that you published in Arabic, first ever peace and justice education in Arabic for Palestinian children in the West Bank ever. First ever Palestinian, additionally, a nonviolent communication workbook for Palestinian children in Arabic, first ever. But before we talk about your peace and justice education program, I want to talk to Manar a little bit about trauma-informed education at House of Hope. Manar, last month or 2 weeks ago, you got your master's in human rights and nonviolence at Anhur University in Beirut, Lebanon, and very impressive. Congratulations, Mabruk.
Thank you.
We all been seeing what's happening in Lebanon recently, and you flew. You were so committed to get your master's and defend your thing. You flew in to it and flew out. That's dedication. That's dedication. And your master's.
Yes, please.
your master's thesis that you defended and got high honors on was on Waldorf education. Trauma-informed education is a strategy for peace building in the West Bank. So I would love to talk to you a little bit more about that now. I'm just going to go back to our slides. So, sorry, just one second. All right. So if you wouldn't mind talking to us a little bit about first, like, what is trauma-informed education?
Like for me, the big problem was first that Ministry of Education, Palestinian Ministry of Education, requires from schools and kindergartens a conventional method that really don't meet the therapeutical needs of kids living under occupation. So as a graduate student, I wanted to know this if trauma-informed education can lessen the toxic stress symptoms generated by adverse childhood experiences in a place like occupied place in Palestine. So based on this question, I came up with the hypothesis: if Palestinian teachers if they adopt the trauma-informed world of education, the children can experience less toxic stress symptoms. They can experience like less or resort less to, they can less resort to actions of violence towards themselves and others, and they will get to have better and healthier development. And so, as we see, toxic stress don't just affect the mental and physical, it also gets in the classroom where the kids will be affected in the academic level, focus, and of course, highlight on this, so much behavioral attitude challenges. So this is, you want to go? And so,
Sorry, were you done? Did you want me to move to the next slide?
I think so.
Sorry.
Unless if you have like something or question or anybody. So I saw like what is the solution? The solution was trauma-informed education that heals the symptoms of toxic stress generated from adverse childhood experiences. And that's what we are doing at House of Hope. So then what is trauma-informed education? There, like lots of people in the world did researches about trauma. Of course, lots of people did about trauma-informed education. But for me, I liked the definition of a man called Tom Brunzel. He's a Waldorf researcher and educator from Australia. And he defined trauma-informed education in 3 strategies. So he said trauma-informed education is an education that repairs child regulatory abilities, an education that repairs child disrupted attachment, and an education that increases child psychological resources. And so, next slide. And so House of Hope education is trauma-informed education because it meets these qualifications that Mr. Brunzel defined, basically. So I can go now to talk about the research I did at House of Hope and seeing this trauma-informed education at House of Hope Kindergarten. It happened, of course, long years ago, 2019 till 2020, with 15 kids at the kindergarten, while I was adopting this world of education method. So kids between 3 to 5 years old. I think to another slide. Okay. So I had a survey. Of course, I did the main research work was, it was an action research. So I was like supervising and acting and having lots of teacher training and teacher meetings and meeting with parents and observation and questionnaire survey. So I had like almost 20 questions, but we have here like just two because of shortage of time. So one of the questions was, do you agree that the occupation has a negative impact in the daily life of your child? So we had like more than 70% said yes, to see the trauma exposure on the kids. And the other question was to rate House of Hope contribution to overcoming your child's difficulties. 5 was the highest score, 1 was the lowest scores, and more than 50% said that yes, House of Hope affect and contribute on helping our kids overcome their difficulties. So this is Jana. Of course, in the 15 kids, I didn't do observation and case study about all, like for all. I made like 2 main case studies, Jana and Hazem. Jana was a kid that have lots of like, she was so, from the beginning, she was so moody. So we have lots of fevering all the days, and so much weird reaction and interaction with male teachers. And she was like having lots of symptoms already in the first month. So I chose to work with her. And she had also lots of mood changes, from so happy, so sad, and all this stuff. So she was in the kindergarten, working with her in the main rhythm of the kindergarten, which is, this is like really Waldorf, with the breathing system of having kids under a really nice, strict, clear, program in the day, weekly and daily and yearly, that is based on relaxing breathing method, in and out, with the work every day, repetition and rhythm, and lots of sensory work integrated in this rhythm, lots of love, lots of clearance, lots of warmth from the teachers, and very nice, beautiful wood toys. And of course, going out to nature. And as you see in the picture, she's so happy. And I think there are more pictures. And so here you see she's so integrated in the table work, which happens in the morning every day in the first hour, like table work from different kinds. Like sometimes they do pizza, sometimes it's drawing, sometimes with wool and lots of stuff. And also lots of work. I did individual work with her, of course, a little bit with drawing, me and her, and also with the parents, interaction with the parents, and work with the parents to follow up. So I can say in the end of the year, I can't read from there. I could say that Jana had fewer symptoms of fever, less violent towards others, less chaotic emotional behavior, healthier connection with her father, which also was a big deal. I can't here now talk about all the case, but her father was a big thing in the case. So more cooperation and high interest and joy in nature, really high interest in nature, so happy. So I can remember her very well in this. And so afterwards we can...
Manar, real quick, before we talk about Hazem, I just wanted to ask you, what's it like in the typical Palestinian public school classroom? I know I've now been coming to the West Bank and working in its education system for almost a decade, and I know that there's no other school in the West Bank that's taking a pledge of nonviolence in the morning. And I know, but could you? What is it like in a typical classroom? How is it different?
Like in kindergartens, now everybody is going towards technology, is going towards the kids. They need to know more. Young kids are younger, but the families want to have more work. And if you give them more alphabets, more paperwork, more tests, they will be happy. Like, and lots of kindergartens here, like if you go to the kindergarten, it's a first grade or second grade. It looks like second grade or first grade, with lots of work and lots of mental work for the kids. So sometimes I say, like, I can't differentiate between kindergarten. I once entered like lots of places, kindergarten and a first grade class. It's almost
Yeah.
like a big class, and then
Yeah.
there's so much less time for emotions, playing, physical work, and also in our kindergarten also we do food. We cook for them. They don't bring sugar or snacks or stuff. Every day there is a hot meal on the table, warm, to come in to relax them. You know, when you eat something soft and warm, it relaxes the kid. It's one of the things that bring relaxation for the kid is also food and
Yeah.
warmth and all this stuff. So
Yeah. That's
we, in our kindergarten, I also like it's. I'm so precise in this. So much eye on the quality and on the work, and it on why we're doing this, and how we can be um, there and the best for the kid, and not just go towards the شو يعني المنهاج curriculum. Because
right.
now people ask, oh, what is the curriculum in the kindergartens? Now they have, and they give, for example, I know schools that they have tests in the area, that they do tests for the kid in the kindergarten, and they don't take him if he's not good or she is not good.
Mhm.
So who make tests for a kindergarten kid?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what I've seen also in my the classrooms I've been in, and which is really surprising given that trauma and toxic stress affects the executive brain function of a child. That's where ability to concentrate, memorize is all impacted. So a child with major chronic toxic stress and trauma exposure is now being expected to memorize and focus in ways that are quite difficult for a trauma exposed child. And in my trips to House of Hope, I always, in every single room, I tell people, I'm like, it's the calming response, the parasympathetic nervous system is you go in and you feel relaxed. The classroom, I don't speak Arabic, so I don't know what anyone is saying, but I just know I feel relaxed. That's how I would best describe the classrooms. But sorry to chime in. You want to talk about Hazem, also your other case study from your research.
So Hazim was another case in the kindergarten, and he also had lots of extra things other than the kids, and that's why also I chose him. He had like lots of eye movement and not social, and doesn't eat well, and so I also decided to focus on him. And we did lots of work with the parents also, the mother especially. And usually the fathers are not in much in this. And he used, when we went to, I remember I went with a teacher to their house, and he was like going home from school, eating sugar and stuff and like crazy stuff. He wasn't eating well. So in through the time, as I said, the same rhythm that I said before about, and also we did with some work with the mother, giving her like a book for the kid, notebook to draw for a month or two at home every day, one drawing he tries, and did doing a little bit individual work with him. And as you see, he started to have friends in the school, and also like by itself, the kindergarten, the Waldorf therapeutical, it's a therapeutical work, and without adding much. The kindergarten in this rhythm is therapeutic. So he ended up having friends, being open. I would say Hazem, he graduated last year. He stayed, and here you see his, there is a picture with Jenna also, playing with wood stuff, all nature and all this stuff. Last year he graduated. Hazem came kindergarten and left at fourth grade. And I would say he came in a kid and left the school with a character, and he have a voice, and he have friends, and he speaks, and he louder his voice, and was like much more. And so as you see here, in the end of the year, and when he was in the kindergarten, he had more tendency to concentrate, less eye movement because he was watching before lots of TV, more appetite for healthy food. He started to ask at home. His mom told us he started to ask at home. Good food, improvement in relations, high interest and joy, of course, in nature. He was also so much in love, and much more happiness, of course, in general. This is a little bit about Hazem. And also, we have also lots of success and work with the kids. Like, we can't maybe say all now, but like trauma-informed education, wardrobe education, at House of Hope is essential, important for Palestinians, and we're there to spread it as much as we can.
Yeah. Thank you, Manar. Yeah, people sometimes ask me, Thea, why are you the executive director of Supporting Hope, dedicated to supporting House of Hope? And I tell them two reasons. Number one, I'm a mom. I'm a Jewish mom, and I have children, and I care about kids. The second, I'm looking for impact. And I have tried, as we all do, multiple different strategies to support peace and justice in the Holy Land. And trauma-informed early childhood education is not only ethical and just, but it is impact. These children's brains affected by the trauma that they're experiencing, we can reach them at young ages. We can make a difference. The brain is plastic. It has plasticity. So with proper intervention within a classroom, this is how we build peace. It is not fair to expect a population who has been growing up under toxic stress and trauma, both Israelis and Palestinians, to be capable of working for peace when they have this much toxic stress and trauma exposure. They're, the parts of the brain that create empathy, all of this are impacted by trauma. In trauma-informed education like that's delivered at House of Hope, we can make a difference. This is impact. I always say, I do not understand, with the amount of news coverage that this part of the world gets, why we are all not rushing to support the children. It makes no sense to me. So that's why I'm the executive director of this organization. So Milad, I would love to now hear from you talking about peace and justice education, and why you believe it's so important, what it is, and why you believe it's so important for Palestinian students.
Yes, first, I was inspired before writing that curriculum by Jesus, and then because Jesus brought the Spirit, and we believe Martin Luther King also, he brought the practice. So for me, it took me a while first to understand the needs of our kids, because when you approach kids that they have trauma and fear, anxiety, stress, depression, and oppression, at the same time, and then you talk about peace and justice. So I prayed that God will give me the tools and wisdom. And when I started creating this small book or guideline for kids, first the goals was for me is to teach the values. So important that our kids take the values from the three Abrahamic religions. We believe also, like we know, like Gandhi, maybe he didn't believe in God, but of course he gave us the practice of non-violence. But for me, because we live in very conservative community, so here either you are a Jew, Christian, or a Muslim. But for me, it was so important to keep the values of peace and justice, and the skills that this book will bring that promote social justice and equality. This book also is designed to help students to address conflict non-violently through dialogue communication. So peace and justice, it talks about two sides. One is based by Marshall Rosenberg teachings, and we make it to look like a Palestinian teaching, because we know, like, we all the time as Middle East, we depend on the Western teaching, but I try to focus on the need of our kids. You know, they face a lot of trauma by the army and the lack of movement, no places to play. And also the other side, it create the shape of their humanity, their imagination of the other, because normally we have, since we were born, and I know this problem, it's everywhere, maybe in the US, also in Europe, between the white and the black, good and evil, here between we and the Israelis. So the other is something, and sometimes the other can be your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your cousin, your uncle. So this peace and justice program will help them to be connected to their nature, connected to the legacy of hope, so important, that Martin Luther King talked about, and empathy and understanding the concept of dialogue. And normally Palestinians and Israelis, in all peace groups, they talk about dialogue, but at the end, it turns that people become enemies. So we believe that the change should start through House of Hope, at least, because we are the only school, and at least in the West Bank, that promotes these concepts. So I'm proud that that this tool, hopefully in the coming future, will be in all parts of the West Bank. Then hopefully when the war stops, and in the coming years, my vision is to go to Gaza and build something that helps kids, mom, parents. This tool that I created, it's not just for kids. Anyone can take it. So we're gonna also start peace and justice educational family program, and also this guide, spiritual guide, that principle of nonviolence will help moms to reach to their kids in the eyes of childhood and healing and life. That's it.
Thanks, Milad. Wonderful to hear from you. And anyone who has any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm at this moment just going to announce our new Supporting Hope Peace and Justice Education Fund. I was muted the whole time, wasn't I? That whole 30 seconds I was talking. It happens. Okay, I'll just say what I thought you all were hearing. I was saying thank you, Milad, for sharing just now about the work you've done. It's historic. It's historic. No one else has written peace and justice education curriculum for Palestinians in the West Bank. No one else has written nonviolent communication curriculum for Palestinian students in the West Bank or in Arabic at all. So thank you. I'm so excited tonight to share about our new Peace and Justice Education Fund. I'm just, oh, I saw that comment come in. Thank you, whoever wrote it. I'll read it in a second. Here is the link to the donation page. Please share it or support it. Here is more information about our Peace and Justice Education Fund. This fund is dedicated to supporting the work of peace and justice curriculum at House of Hope. It's going to bring that curriculum into the classroom, more family programming, and expanding its reach. We're hoping to raise this year, by the end of the year, $40,000 for the Peace and Justice Education Fund, and we're kicking it off tonight. So please share it with anyone that you think will be interested. We'll be publishing the curriculums in the coming weeks on our website, and you'll be hearing much, much more about our Peace and Justice Education program. But here is the fund. Gail, your question I'm going to take first because it's actually the next question I was going to ask. What are the needs for the immediate near future? But first, before we talk about the needs, what is where would you like to see the school in your work in the coming years? Where do you want to go? And then we'll talk about the needs.
Well, in a way, I have like a dream, like to have like physically a better place and a place that is for the community. I don't care, it's under the name with like papers of house of like with the ministry or which, but to be for because like we rent now the place and it's like not bad, but I hope that one day we can build a place for the kids and parents and the community center to stay for them and to be like done in a very nice way, engineering wise, I mean, and surrounding nature and to have it there to stay like as much long as it can be and to be open for everybody and through this community to start also hopefully maybe four to have connection. I believe I want to have connection more with the Ministry of Education to have more change and more workshops to change the way and the methods that they require from kindergarten school. This is my like destination after having like, of course, I would like to work with kids and now parents and families, but also towards our Ministry of Education, which needs lots of help getting more awareness for different methods, better like alternative methods.
Wonderful. Great. Just looking at the other comments. In terms of needs, thank you, Gail, for that question. So our Peace and Justice Education program is our biggest need right now. We want to grow it so that we can fund more family education outreach. In addition to that, our capital improvement, everything that happened at the school was supported by several amazing churches, including yours, Gail, Rock Spring, and other organizations. So we soon will make it easier on our website to donate to, if supporting the actual physical entity of the school, but that's always a need. Any physical thing in the school that anyone wants to donate to, you could just reach out to info@supporting House of Hope, and we'd be happy to talk to you about how we can make it happen. So the one question I wanted to ask also, that was a topic of this talk, was how to keep hope during times of uncertainty. In the United States, we have a lot of uncertainty about what will happen in the coming months, and you have uncertainty in your everyday daily life. But I observe that every day you choose hope. And why? Why do you continue to choose it? And how do you choose it when you're discouraged and exhausted and fatigued and traumatized? How do you choose hope?
Oh.
I don't know. I believe there's no other alternative. I mean, there's no other alternative. Sometimes we ask God we ask God for more power to continue. I mean, living in the Holy Land, living in this spot of blood and hatred and revenge, and boasting how much each side kills from the other side. Hope is something that few people can see it. It's like the spiritual honey, you know. When we hear like stories of giant people or heroes, we see ourselves heroes. We see ourselves that we are heroes, that we never die. You know, we know that like pretty sure in any second, any young Israeli honestly can shoot me or shoot Manar or shoot our kids because of fear, because of I don't know any justification. But the work that we are doing give us strength when we see the children, you know, honestly. Each day I decided to be part of the team, not as a director also or a peace and justice instructor, but also as a sport teacher. And each morning I meet the kids in the morning in the classrooms, and I see how much they are powerful kids, you know. They don't feel scared. They don't talk about negative things. They want to play. They want to dream. Uh, but sometimes in my heart, I feel sad about them because I know pretty sure what is reality. I know pretty sure that in this country you are labeled evil or good. And unfortunately, Palestinians, they are on the page or image of evil, and that is also a mistake. So the school and the hope that me and Manar we are holding, it's like the other image that Palestinians they deserve to live with good dignity, respect, freedom of movement, and we believe that these kids are the leaders. So we see leaders, we see good leaders, we see Jesus, we see the prophet of, we see Moses, we see Gandhi, we see MLK, we see all the good people. We see Thea, Jamie, Jer, his mom, all our friends, Stephanie, in these kids, Diana. So we see all faiths in them. And because of that, we hold on the truth that we want people to keep dreaming with us, not to keep crying for us. So we want the Americans to wake up, you know, that this land deserves, Palestine, Israel, deserve to be a model. But unfortunately, it's like a bad model in the world. Like, you know, people are just wanted to kill one another. But we pray for peace. And for me, because I grown up in a Catholic church, and in a Catholic church, we never spoke about politics. And when I was evangelical, and when I was 16 and 17 years old, I was evangelical, and I walked up with uh, that Jews become or Israelis become Christians and Russians become Christians, and and no one spoke about what's going on. So this gospel of liberation in me refused to be blind. So because of that, I chose not to follow the church that it is silent, not to follow evangelical church that it is one side voice or it is a silent. So I chose to be free with Manar, with these kids, and to serve also the Muslim community in a place that it has Lazarus tomb, and it talks about resurrection. It talks about also misery, but at the same time it talks about resurrection. So me and Manar, we give people life. And thank you.
Wow. For me, like my secret is that I don't have hopes all the time. Like I don't have, yani, I don't have to go and like speak it out. I don't. Sometimes I cry in the night and I have hardship, and in the morning I go to work and have this deep intention and impulse and love. Maybe it's about love more than for me more than the word hope, because I don't have always hope. Like it's just about after all these years and hardship, I ended up like just not giving up. It's not about like I see it as not giving up. Hope is not giving up, and being aware that I can do something for people. I know like lots of people have skills and things, but lots of us are not aware. So the responsibility that we're holding, that we are aware that we can do something and we have power. And as he said, having lots of people and friends around, it's not like as he mentioned, having this friendship and community around us. It's not just us alone, as I said. And in the end, like, if you see the smile on these kids and also the teachers, like I always say to the teachers when they come to the school, we are not just opening this place to teach like a normal school to teach kids. You are also part, the teachers are part, the parents are part. It's a healing and love journey for everybody. So also when I'm broken or like not having much hope, I have like lots of people around me, Milad and the teachers and Stephanie, like to strengthen me. And also, as I said, after all these years of work on myself and trying to understand this universe, is that just the secret is not giving up. Even if you're broken, even you just go on and do good to the world.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you both so much. Well, right now I want to take a moment to recognize someone who did a lot of good for Palestinian children. And her name is Christy Bozen, and she's on this call tonight. And Christy is the first recipient of our new Reverend Dave and Polly Johnson Peace and Justice Memorial Award. So I'm just going to say a quick moment about what the award is, who they were, and then about Christy. So Dave and Polly Johnson, Reverend Dave and Polly Johnson, were our founders, actually. They both passed away. They were incredible people, incredible human beings, Presbyterian pastors, and Dave was, and they went to Palestine for 20 years and met Milad and Manar, standing with them so that Palestinians could harvest their olive harvest in peace and safety. Lots of work in peace and justice, the real deal. They came back and started a nonprofit, started supporting Hope. And they said, let's help connect the peace workers that are working on the ground in the West Bank with Americans so that we can support them and know about them. They were amazing. And so in their legacy, we honor people every year who have done incredible contributions for the children of Palestine. And this year, I am so honored to honor Dave and Polly Johnson by presenting it to Christy Bozen. Christy, for the past 8 years, was the backbone of this organization. I can tell you she put in hours and hours. All of your tax receipts at the start of the year are from Christy. All of the fact that we have IRS compliance is from Christy. She was the coordinator of our Palestine Beats program, just above and beyond for the children of Palestine. And she's an incredible human being. She's the real deal peace worker. I am so honored to call her my friend and my coworker. And I'm going to cry if I keep talking. So I'm just going to say thank you, Christy, for all you have done for this community and for this children. And, there's a home open for you in Palestine and a seat at the table for you always. And we love you and thank you. I'm going to now put in the chat information about the award and information about Christy. And then I'm also going to put in the chat a video message for Christy that you'll all be receiving over email and social media several times as well. So thank you, Christy, so much, and we love you. And Milad and Manar, if you want to say anything.
Well,
thank you, Christy. Maybe we met Christy with the global immersion. I'm not sure if Jer was or John, but Christy, you are an amazing soul, amazing heart, a real sister to me and Manar. And without your tears, love, compassion, empathy, I don't think that the kids of Palestine, the kids of Jerusalem, that we are all blessed, and we are blessed by you, and we love you so, so, so much. Thank you from the heart. You are part of the light, part of the movement, part of the salvation that we are all in it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. We love you, sister, and I hope we see you again here. You came last year or 2 years ago, last year. It was nice to see you, and I hope we're renewing our visa, by the way, to the States. I hope we see you again. If Milad will come maybe first next year. So we would love to see you, of course. We miss you so much. We really love you, and we know how much you did. We know how much you did. We really love you.
And after 8 years of pretty much nonstop work, Christy is taking her
Wow.
break from the board, a well-deserved break. Thank you, Christy, and thank you for your 8 years of constant service. And take some naps on the weekend now. You have earned them. You have earned the downtime, and you'll always be with us, and we love you. And if anyone in this group is ever interested about board membership, just write to Thea. I'll put it in the chat. Board membership or volunteering. One second. I am Thea at supportinghouseofhope.org. And just reach out if you're interested. Also want to thank our other board members that are on this call. Deanna Cohen, our board president. She's incredible, from Portland, Oregon. Scott Johnson, son of Dave and Polly Johnson. Steve Goldman. None of us would be here without Steve. He got them their first visas and fundraised for them to come on their first trip. None of us would have met them without Steve. And Jamie Rustler, who's been with us for a long time, and I don't know and Gail Bernaford, our board member. I don't know if I'm missing any other board members. Also Ellen Rifkin, Jer Swigert, just Lori Swigert, all of you. Thank you so much for being part of our family and for loving these children and supporting them and working for peace alongside us. And Scott, yes, I said Scott, yes. So thank you so much, everyone. And this video will be available on recording. And please be in touch. And thank you for your support.